What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now, usually I do this video on Sundays, but with all of the recent news and all of the big name injuries that will be missing Sunday's game between the Detroit Lions and the New Orleans Saints, I felt like I had to make the video now and talk about some of the big names that are going to be missing this game and some of the news that has come out about this game. Now, before we do get into the video, if you are new to the channel and are enjoying this Detroit Lions content, consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel, as it takes only 2 seconds out of your day to help me push this channel out to more Lions fans such as yourselves. So if you could do that, I would be greatly appreciative for it. But with all that being said, let's get into talking about the injury report, because there are a lot of big names for the New Orleans Saints that will not be making the trip to Detroit this week. Now, starting with the Detroit Lions injury report and who is not going to play and who is questionable for Sunday's game, the Detroit Lions only have one player that is officially listed out as of right now, and that is special teams ace C.J. Moore. Now, he will not be playing in this game. He's missed a couple of games with injury. He's been back a couple of games. He's kind of off and on. He's been off and on throughout the season, whether or not he's been playing or not. So, that sucks. He's a really good special teamer, but, if we were going to lose somebody, C.J. Moore is not the worst person to be out for this game. Now, the Lions have a lot of questionable guys as well, as Hunter Bryant, the rookie tight end, is questionable with a hamstring injury. Now, he was limited in practice all week, which is the first time that he has practiced all week. The past couple weeks, the first 3 weeks of the season, he has been kind of like limited practice and then no practice some days. And, this week he was limited practice on every single day, which is good to see. He's getting healthier. He's getting more experience in this offense. And there's a good chance that he can make his Detroit Lions debut with a couple other guys this weekend. He's been practicing all week. He's been looking better. And, there is a very good chance that he could be playing in this game. Deshaun Hand is questionable with a chest injury. Now, just like Hunter Bryant, Deshaun Hand has been limited in practice all week. He has played, I believe, in every game so far this season. He has been out there for the Lions, and he has been a big impact player. So, it's good to have him back throughout the year. We saw last year what the impact was when he was not on the field. I expect him to play this weekend. I think that limited practice has been something that he's been dealing with for a couple weeks now, but every single Sunday he has been out there playing for the Lions, so I would expect him to push through, and I would expect him to be playing as well. Christian Jones, our linebacker, is questionable with a knee injury. Now, Christian Jones did not practice on Friday. I don't know if it was precautionary. I don't know if he tweaked something on the end of Thursday, but, he did not practice Friday, which makes me think that there's a pretty solid chance that Christian Jones is not going to play this weekend, which, sucks for him, but to be totally honest, I think we have better linebackers to replace Christian Jones anyway. I think with Christian Jones out, if he does not play, that gives Jarrad Davis a lot more opportunity. That gives some of the younger linebackers a lot more opportunity to play. So, I don't think that would be a huge loss. And if anything, I actually think Christian Jones being out just gives our linebackers more chance to show what they can do. And I think it would actually be a help for them, because I think Jarrad Davis is a better linebacker than Christian Jones. The Detroit Lions have two cornerbacks that are officially listed questionable for Sunday's game, as Daryl Roberts and Desmond Trufant are both limited. They have both had limited practices all week. Desmond Trufant is limited with a hamstring injury, and Daryl Roberts is questionable with a hip injury. These guys have been questionable for the last 2 weeks or so. Daryl Roberts played last week versus the Arizona Cardinals. Desmond Trufant did not. However, Desmond Trufant has been looking really good in practices so far. He's been looking really good in the limited practices he has been attending. So he is expected to play by a lot of Lions fans. He's looked really good in practice. He's been practicing more and more every day. So it is expected for Desmond Trufant to return to the Detroit Lions secondary this weekend, which is really good for us. Obviously, getting healthy, getting our starters back is only going to help this team improve and help this team get to 2-2 and get back to that 500 record to end this 4-game streak, to end this first month of the season on a positive note. Looking at the New Orleans Saints injuries, because I know that's why you all are here. The New Orleans Saints have been decimated by injuries so far this season, and it continues this weekend, and it is really, really brutal for the New Orleans Saints. Andrus Peat, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I apologize. He's officially out with an ankle injury. He is an offensive lineman. I don't know if he's a starter or not. I don't know what his role is. I'm not really, that knowledgeable about the Saints offensive line, but missing an offensive lineman, whether it be depth or whether it be a starter, is, going to be impactful, but I don't know how big of an impact that injury is going to have. Jared Cook is out with a groin injury. Now, Jared Cook is their starting tight end. He is their tight end 1, and he is really a big target for Drew Brees, especially in the red zone. I've seen Drew Brees target him a lot in the red zone, so that is a huge loss for them as well. Obviously, they're losing a red zone target. They're losing a starter. That's going to be a huge loss for them. Janoris Jenkins, their second cornerback, is officially out with a shoulder injury. I believe Janoris Jenkins actually picked off Matthew Stafford last year when we played the Giants. So, not having Janoris Jenkins out there, obviously not having one of your starting boundary cornerbacks out there is going to be a big loss, especially with the receiving talent that the Lions have, like Kenny Galladay, like Marvin Jones, like Amendola and Cephas and Hall and Agnew. Like, with all these weapons, not having, one of your starting boundary corners is going to hurt you a lot. And they're not only going to be without their one starting boundary corner, they're going to be without both, as Marshawn Lattimore is also officially out with an ankle, or as Marshawn Lattimore is officially out with a hamstring injury as well. So the Saints are down to, a lot of their depth cornerbacks, a lot of their depth, and a lot of their backups are going to have to step up this weekend in the secondary. And, that's going to be huge because the Lions pass game is really good when it's on. Our receivers are really good. Matthew Stafford is really, really good. And Kenny Galladay versus a backup cornerback is going to go Kenny Galladay's way 9 times out of 10. Like, this is a prime game for Matthew Stafford to get a ton of yards. This is a prime game for Matthew Stafford to look elite again. This, I believe, is going to be the game where Matthew Stafford gets back to his 2019 form, where Matthew Stafford gets back to averaging 300-something passing yards a game, having a lot of touchdowns and having very few interceptions. I just think that, this is a prime game with the injuries that New Orleans has to their secondary and, the fact that Kenny Galladay is getting back and he's getting healthier. Marvin Jones is still there. Amendola is still there. Hawkinson is still there. The Saints struggle against tight ends. Like, I just think this is a perfect game for Matthew Stafford to get back to that elite quarterback form. And, with the Saints missing both of their boundary cornerbacks, that is only going to help, and that is only going to make Matthew Stafford's job easier come Sunday. Now, the New Orleans Saints injuries do not stop there, as they are also without Marcus Davenport, former first-round pick and big-time contributor to that defensive line. He is officially out with an elbow/toe injury. Michael Thomas, the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, is officially out with an ankle injury. It looked for a long time like he was going to play in the game, and yesterday it came out that he was no longer playing either. So that's going to be a huge gain. That's going to be a huge advantage for the Lions, especially if we are returning Desmond Trufant and they no longer have Michael Thomas. Like, that's us getting better. That's the Saints getting worse, and that just puts an even larger talent gap between the two teams. And right now, it's looking pretty good for the Detroit Lions with all of these Saints stars missing time and not playing in Sunday's game. Chase Hansen is questionable with a hip injury as well. I have no idea if he's going to play or not. I would assume he's going to play, but based on the fact that I've never even heard of Chase Hansen, I would not expect him to be a huge role player in this game either. Now, the New Orleans Saints are struggling a lot with injuries. As I just read off, they are missing their wide receiver 1, their cornerback 1, their cornerback 2, their tight end 1, Marcus Davenport, who's a big-time contributor on that defensive line. They are missing one of their offensive linemen. I'm not sure if he's depth or if he's a starter, but either way, that's going to hurt them a little bit as well. And, the Saints are really, really struggling this week, and it's going to help the Lions a lot that all of these great players are no longer playing, and these are players that the Lions no longer have to worry about when it comes to looking at matchups and, when it comes to coming up with that game plan. With all that being said, though, that does not mean that the New Orleans Saints are not going to be a good football team. That does not mean that this game is going to be a blowout for the Detroit Lions. This game, in my opinion, is still going to be close. This game is still going to come down to the wire, and why I think the Detroit Lions have a much better chance of winning with all of these star players out, this is not going to be an easy game. This is not going to be a cakewalk for the Detroit Lions, and no Lions fan, no Lions, nobody working in the Lions organization should go into this game thinking that this is going to be an easy W and this is going to be an easy way to get back to 2-2, because, the Saints are still very, very good. They still have Cam Jordan. They still have Drew Brees. They still have Alvin Kamara. They still have Demario Davis, who I believe is a former all-pro linebacker. Like, they still have some talent on that offense. They still have some talent on that defense. They are still being coached by one of the best coaches in the NFL in Sean Payton. So, yes, it's great for it's great to see that the Lions are healthy and that the Saints might not be healthy and the Saints are missing some of their really big name stars, but do not think just because they are missing some guys that they are going to lay down and let the Lions have this victory. Do not think for a second that this is going to be a blowout game, because one, obviously they still have a fantastic coach in Sean Payton, one of the top 5 in the NFL potentially. They still have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. They still have one of the best running backs in the NFL. They still have one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. They have an all-pro linebacker still in that linebacking core. So this game is not going to be a cakewalk. This game is not going to be one where the Lions can just show up and go through the motions and end up winning this football game. This is going to be at one where the Lions have to make a game plan, stick to the game plan, play out of their minds, play very, very well if they want to win this football game. Another reason the Lions and the Saints always play it close for for a game not being a division rivalry, this is one of the, the Lions played the Saints harder than almost anybody. I feel like no matter what, I feel like no matter who's playing, I feel like no matter what the score is, no matter what who has the momentum, no matter what time is left on the clock, the Lions and the Saints always make a game entertaining no matter who's playing. No matter what the situation is, the Lions and the Saints always play each other tough. They always have an entertaining game. Like the last game was crazy. The last game that the Lions and the Saints played was amazing. It was fantastic. The Lions lost, but there were still so many crazy highlights, crazy plays that happened, and the Lions and the Saints never ever just give the game to the other person, the other team, because I don't know why, but these two teams just play each other harder than anybody else that's not division rivals. And I would not expect this game to go one way or the other drastically. I would not expect a blowout on either side. I would not expect this game to be, I would not expect one team to end the game or have that last drive or two where they feel comfortable that they have won the game. I would expect this game to come down to the final drive yet again. I would expect this game to be within 7 points, just like a lot of the other Saints games. And, I would expect this game to have a lot of points, a lot of scoring, and be a very, very crazy game and have a lot of really cool and really fun plays to watch. Looking at some of the last minute Lions news, the Detroit Lions are officially allowed to return 3 players this week from injured reserve or suspension list. Those 3 players are Jaron Kearse, Mike Ford, and Bo Scarborough. We talked about Jaron Kearse yesterday. He's going to be a huge role player. Mike Ford is going to be big if we have some more injury concerns in our secondary, as well as he's just going to be a good depth player to bring in when we do need some help. And then obviously Bo Scarborough turned it on last year. He had a really good end to the 2019 season and unfortunately started the year on injured reserves, but it does look as though he is ready to return, and we will see whether or not he will be playing this week, because just because they're eligible to return doesn't mean they will. I would expect them to return, but that doesn't mean that they are going to. If Bo Scarborough does return, I would be very intrigued to see what his touch count, what his snap count looks like, because he is really talented as he showed last year, but I just don't know where he necessarily fits in with Adrian Peterson being so effective. So those 3 players are eligible to return this week for the Detroit Lions, and I would expect at least 2 of the 3 of them to be there, if not all 3. So, that is kind of the Lions news I got. I don't have who they're pulling up from the practice squad just yet. I will be updating that probably on my Instagram. I'm not going to make a video just on that. So that'll be on my Instagram probably tomorrow when it does get announced. But with all that being said, that is all I got for you guys today. As I said, this injury news is crazy. This injury news is bananas. Like, I just can't believe how many players the Saints are missing right now. And, it's going to be huge for the Lions. It's going to be very, very helpful. And, with all these injuries, I really think that gives the Detroit Lions a really good chance to win this game. I had confidence before the game, but with all these players missing, I have more and more confidence as the days go on and as the game gets closer. So, with all that being said, though, that is all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. If there is Lions news before tomorrow, then I will obviously make a video letting every single person know. But if there is no Lions news, then I will see you all tomorrow with more Detroit Lions content. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all tomorrow with more Lions videos. Thank you all for watching. Bye, guys.